beast of the sky, please heed my cry. Transform thyself from orb of light, and bring me victory in this fight. Envelop the desert with your glow, and cast your rage upon my foe. Unlock your powers from deep within, so that together we may win. Come forth in this shadow game as I call your name, Winged Dragon of Ra! Well, that was fun as well as murder on my voice. Thank you for tuning in to Team Forbidden's YouTube page. Who wants a hug?
I do.
That was a good hug. Hello, Odeon. I hope you like being stabbed in the eye socket. I hope you don't already have one. We got Winged Dragon of Ra here, guys. This is something I like to call Ancient Numeron, or Numer Ra, as Manny so aptly put it. Numeron! Numeron! So let's get into it. So, Legendary Duelist came out a few weeks ago. We almost weren't able to get this deck profile for you because Eric and I opened a really weird case. We got 4 God Slime, 4 of this guy, but only 2 of this. You need 3 for this deck in order for it to work. But this is the more competitive version of Ra. If you guys want to see a more pure build of it with the Reactor Slimes and more copies of the
Slimes.
The other slimes, the Metal Reflex Slime. Let's get this video to 100 likes. 100 likes, and we'll get it that way. So let's get into the deck profile. So first off, you only run 2 copies of the Winged Dragon of Ra because it's bricky at 3. You don't want to you don't want to open it without the way of getting it out. And it's a little hard to get stuff out, but that's what we got the Numeron package for. So, Winged Dragon of Ra. Literally, the only reason the Ra support has been coming out is they ruined the card with that first sentence. Cannot be special summoned. Did you not watch the fucking show? Or read the fucking comic? Hell, the only time that Atem summons Ra in the comic, or attempts to, he dump revives it like Merrick did. Every single time. So literally, all of the rest of the support came out just because this card cannot be special summoned. Why is that the case? Because apparently some kid won the video game championship with the Winged Dragon of Ra in their deck. I'm not joking. So, yeah, it was a big thing, and then they announced that it was the next card to get in effect after Obelisk the Tormentor. For whatever reason, it doesn't have target protection. I don't know why. But the God cards themselves are, they've each got their own problems. We'll go on a more in-depth focus of that in the one of the first episodes of the Fnatic Focus coming soon. So to complement the 3 Ra, you've got 3 Sphere modes. This is a going second deck. You want to make sure that if your opponent opens a shit ton of negates, you have 3 monsters. All right, here's a giant ball of light. What you gonna do now? Come on. Come at me, bro. Come at me with that giant ball of light. Do you speak in ancient Egyptian? No? Then you can't play it. Do you summon Salamangreat Almirage? Well, shit. Not too much I could do if you have that. Next up, we have the 1 Winged Dragon of Ra Immortal Phoenix. You never want to draw this card unless you have Millennium Revelation. He's unaffected in Summon Sphere mode when he dies. And fun little note, non-targeting non-destruction removal by paying 1,000 life points with him. This card, unfortunately, does target and destroy. This one does not. So yeah, that's it for the Ra. You only run those 6 copies of Ra. You could potentially cut a Sphere mode down to 2, but you kind of need 3 for going second, just in case. Alright, next up, new card! 3 Guardian Slime! This is your way of getting Egyptian God Slime out. So basically, whenever you take damage of any kind, you can just drop him from your hand. Then, if he's involved in a battle, he can gain defense equal to the attack of the monster that's battling it. On top of that, if he is sent from the hand or field to the graveyard, they unfortunately knew what they were doing. So you can't just Foolish Burial him and get a search off of it. You get a spell card that specifically lists the Winged Dragon of Ra in its card text. So basically, the Ancient Chants, the Blaze Cannons, the Millennium Revelations, etc. But yeah, he's basically your main way for going into God's Son. He's also a hand trap. For the lols, it's a merit card. It's a nice little hand trap as well. Can sometimes save you in certain situations where you drop it and then you gain 1,000 life points, and then, oh, you were going to attack me directly? Not anymore. Sup. Oh, and I can just tribute myself and make any monster that I have gain 1,000 attack. There's that. So that's it for the raw stuff. Next, we get into 3 Numeron Wall. How many Numeron decks have we had on the channel? Do I really need to explain this card? Summon it in the battle phase or search network. Whatever, as long as you control no cards. 3 Ash, because it's Ash Blossom. And this is a raw deck. This card is basically mandatory. Oh, your opponent starts to special summon. Okay, give me more life. Give me more life points. Are you max C? No. Oh, that's fine. Give me life points to pay for raw, increase its attack points, and kill you with it. So, yeah, that's the end of the monster count. Mostly hand traps and a couple of raws to search stuff out. 3 copies of Ancient Chant. This gets raw back from it gets it from the deck or graveyard. And if you banish it from the graveyard, both of these effects it's once per turn, but you can use both effects in the same turn. What you can do is you can banish this card from the graveyard to give Ra the first effect that it was supposed to have in the first place, which is basically it's Grand Magigarzet. Ra is supposed to gain the power of the 3 tributes that's used to summon it. The pay to 100 and the pay 1,000 to destroy stuff, it's supposed to be only when it's summoned back from the graveyard. Well, actually, the pay to 100 is supposed to be when it's summoned back from the graveyard. The other one was whenever. But yeah, Ancient Chant, it gives Ra the first ability that it was supposed to have, the ability that Merit got as a skill card in Duel Links for Power of the Tribute. So, yeah, nice little card here. Again, we only opened 2. Thankfully, we found a 3rd copy so we could get... Yes, Eric did. And, oh my gosh. And, first off, let me just say this is beautiful. Oh, great spirit. Oh, great spirit, whom the spirits rule over. Oh my god, what the hell. That's fine. We'll just cut that part. So, 3 Ancient Chant. You run no less. The deck literally does not work with less than 3, and sometimes it doesn't even work that well at all. 1 copy of Blaze Cannon. You can bump this up to 2. This card is a quick play card that you basically... it's treated as a Blaze Accelerator card. Fun story with that. Why is this card considered a Blaze Accelerator card? Because all the Blaze Accelerator cards are called Blaze Cannon in the original Japanese. Oh, this card's called Blaze Cannon. Uh-oh, we fucked up. Okay, it's treated as a Blaze Accelerator card. Technically, this card is supposed to be called God Blaze Cannon, but for whatever reason, the dub, we can't say God on its own. We can say Egyptian God, but we can't just say God on its own. So, whatever. So, gives basically any Winged Dragon of Ra that you control 3 effects. 1, makes it unaffected by the opponent's card effects at all. 2, if an attack is declared involving the card, you can distribute other monsters that you control, and Ra gains the attack points of them as well. And then the 3rd one is after Winged Dragon of Ra is, after damage calculation, if the Winged Dragon of Ra attacked, you can send all monsters that the opponent controls to the graveyard. So basically kind of like how the Phoenix effect worked when Ra used it against Joey in the anime. The other Ra support that we have is 1 Millennium Revelation. It's a Monster Reborn Searcher. It's dumb. So this card can either discard a Divine Beast monster from your hand and send it to the graveyard, and then you search any copy of Monster Reborn from your deck or graveyard. They knew what they were doing here. This makes it so the Winged Dragon of Ra can also be summoned from the graveyard with Monster Reborn as well. Because that was the whole strategy, was Merrick would dump Ra to the graveyard and use Monster Reborn on it over and over and over again. Yes, Darkspell Regeneration does it too. It's not in here. That card sucks. This card is better. Finally, for the Numeron package, we have 2 Memories of Hope. Because draw 3 or draw 4 is absolutely fucking nuts. 2 calling to go with the 3 copies of Network that are coming out right here, which may potentially get more broken with Numeronius coming out.
Whoa.
But again, it's Numerons. This deck is literally just make Zexal and win. And if you don't win off of the Zexal, you just bombard your opponent with a whole bunch of Numerons that can gain power really, really easily. 1 terraforming to go with the Numeron networks. 1 Call by the Grave, because why the fuck is this card at 1? There's literally no reason for this card to be at 1. I argue that it's not worth playing at 1. And of course, every time I have argued that, I have gotten my ass kicked by this card from people drawing their 1 fucking copy. I shit you not. So, we run the 1 Call by the Grave because apparently I'm fucking wrong. 1 Monster Reborn, because we can have nice things. And please note, you need the Ankh version. It's literally in the artwork. And because we can have nicer things finally, after 5 fucking years, it's really more like 2 or 3. I know. I exaggerate. If you guys haven't picked up, I over-exaggerate on stuff. You guys should have figured that out by now. I do it for dramatic effect. Alright, that's it for the spells. Into the traps. We have 1 copy of the Sun God Unification. This basically makes it so you can target a special summon Winged Dragon of Ra and give it the effect that it would normally have when it's normal summoned. The additional effect, however, is you contribute the Winged Dragon of Ra, and then you gain life points equal to its attack that it had on the field. This is making it so the diffusion strategy that Merrick used with Ra on the TV show is finally possible. 1 side note, I don't know why the hell they didn't make Class System an actual card. They could have just made that the card that well, for those who don't know, Class System was a card that exists in the anime because they decided to omit in the anime that the Winged Dragon of Ra is a higher divine class than Obelisk and Slifer. So it was completely unaffected by their effects in the show. They decided to omit that in the TV show and come up with a card called Class System that made Ra unaffected by everything. I suppose you could argue that Blaze Cannon was that, but you could have just made Class System do that and print another anime card, but whatever. So, yeah, this basically makes the diffusion play from Merrick an actual reality. And of course, you send Ra to the graveyard and you have Phoenix mode out. Ooh. You can gain so many life points back and get a 4K beater along with the sphere mode at the end of the turn. Next we have 1 Metal Reflex Slime. This is mostly in here because I didn't really feel like taking it out. And it's also nice to have a 3K body. You could make this a Dark Spell Regeneration if you like, but I'd argue that's not worth the time and effort. And 3 little hand traps in Infinite Impermanence. Into the extra deck. The extra deck for this deck is 3 Egyptian God Slime. Egyptian God Slime is a 3K Aqua Water Fusion Effect monster. That is either Fusion Summon with 1 Aqua monster or 1 level 10 Water monster, or you can first Fusion Summon it also, or Special Summon it from the extra deck, by attributing any level 10 Aqua monster with 0 attack. And funny enough, there are literally only 2 monsters that fit the build. This card and the slime. Why just those 2? I have no clue. But yeah, these are the only 2 monsters that literally fit the bill for summoning this card. After you do manage to get it out, by the way, it can be treated as 1 or 3 tributes for the tribute summon of a monster. And your opponent cannot target any other monsters with card effects or attacks except for him. If you want to run the pure version of the deck, or you want to find room for a Mound of the Bound Creator, you can get a really nice feel with just this guy, a Mound of the Bound Creator, out. Because then you have an indestructible monster that can't be targeted. Literally, the only out for it would be a Dingrisu. Yeah, also it can't be destroyed by battle, so there's that as well. For the last of the fusion monsters in there, we have 1 Elder Entity Entis. This is purely in case you go up against a Dogmatica deck and they try to do stuff against you. You just, okay, force me to send 2 cards from my extra deck to the graveyard, pop your stuff. One Super Dreadnought Rail Gustav Max, because sometimes you'll end up with 2 level 10s on the field, and you want to be able to burn that last 2,000 per game. And one, why is this card still legal? This card should not be legal with Numerons around. Literally, what this card's effect is, you can't play the game. That's literally what this card's effect is. You can't play the game. You can't play Yu-Gi-Oh! For 2 turns. So, now that we get out of the out of my fits of rage from all the amount of times that I've encountered this card, and swallowing my shame for actually playing it, we have 2 copies of 1, 2/2, 2/3, and 1/4. This is the basic Numeron engine, along with, you know, the number C1, because sometimes banishing the entire field is just funny as hell. And for the last card of the extra deck, we have 1 Infinitrack Fortress Megaclops. So, on to the side deck, because it's Numerons, you need 3 Gamma Seals, you need 3 Lancia, Mystic Mind is pretty awesome, so is Metaverse, and Paleozoic's pretty cool. For the last 2 cards, I'm running 2 copies of Lava Golem. I'll probably trade these out for something else. I'm not entirely sure what just yet, but yeah, that's Numeron, Ancient Numeron as I like to call it. So, again, if you guys want to see a pure raw deck profile, get this video to 100 likes. Like, comment, subscribe, wear your mask outside, stay safe, and we'll catch you guys later. Come forth in this shadow game as I call your name! Winged Dragon of Ra!
Jerk, what the fuck? You fucked it up.